Georgie coming again. Namuero Mama Joe coming again. Muore Rossi Tisha coming again. Now they walk on Treasure coming soon. Better muore mo. I say you're better muore. It's about to get away. Pulling out the get away. We coming again. Who wanna rock Cdc coming again? Young wanna rock job, we are coming again. Who wanna rock Mama Joe, we're coming again. Up in the rock Cdc coming again. Now they hope on Treasure coming so. Better wanna rock. Say you're better move. Something up take you away. Where I get away. We coming again. Hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Wherever you are, this is the CDC Hour. The CDC Hour is a 60-minute package of activities within the Congress for Democratic Change and other issues affecting the body politics of our country. Today is Friday, July 18, 2025, and I'm your host here, Ishiaka Sharif. Today we are discussing July 17 protest, the pro July 17 protest, the takeaways, the successes, the hypes, the tension of yesterday's protest. And so I will be right back in a jiffy after a bit of our theme song. We'll celebrate. And where most go corridor. Go days I wanna go there. We'll celebrate. Thank you and welcome back to the show. If you are on the live feed, you can continue to share the show. You can continue to share the video so that your friends, their friends, and other friends of your friends can watch the show. Yesterday, as you may be aware, was a very basic day in Monrovia. Yesterday was a very tense day in the capital. Yesterday was a very rainy day in Monrovia. Yesterday was the much heralded, much talked about July 17 protest that was planned and orchestrated by the Solidarity and Trust for a New Day, in short, they call STAND, led by its chairman Molba K. Molu and the rest of the folks from other civil society groupings, other prominent people like Isaac Jackson, Toka Emmanuel Bildet, Pastor Festus Arabi Logan, Siriki Fofana, and the rest of the guys who were prominent planners of the protest yesterday. That protest was planned for more than 40 days. A lot of energy, a lot of moral resources was put into the protest. That finally happened yesterday. And so if you were in Monrovia yesterday, you were confronted with that. As a matter of fact, prior to the protest, there was this suppression, intimidation on the part of the government so that protesters could not come out to express their disapproval, to express their disenchantments against the programs and policies of the government. And so what the government resorted to doing was to dish out taxpayers' monies, to dish out a lot of thousands of dollars to ghettos, to different communities, and made the people to stay home, to not have come to the protest. The security forces put up an intimidation tactic in communities arresting our brothers and sisters who are on the street, who we refer to as Zogos. They were rounding them all over from all over the communities and carrying them to jail for reason being that the government did not want them to form part of the protest because the government knew very well that those people are at the margins of the society. They are feeling the brunt of the economic situation in the country, and so they made sure they did everything possible to round those people up in the from the ghettos, from different communities in Montserrat County, and so they were not able to come out in their numbers. However, despite all of those intimidation tactics, despite the huge financial, you know, the huge financial scandal of the government, where they use monies to dissuade people from the protest, and coupled with the heavy downpour of rain for a whole day yesterday, the people still defied all of the odds and came out to express their anger, to express their disapproval that enough is enough in terms of the government's policies, in terms of the government's running of the country, in terms of the government's behavior, in terms of the government's policies and programs that are gravely affecting the stability of the country in terms of the economy, national security, in terms of corruption, in terms of police brutality across the country, all over the place. So the people came out very strongly yesterday. Uh, we saw thousands of people coming out to express their disapproval. The government set up roadblocks to discourage protesters, but the protesters themselves, they were very much vigilant, they were very much peaceful. The entire protest was mature. It did not defy government's policies. No, it did not do that. It did not defy government's regulations, security regulations. They went by the agreement that was struck between the government of Liberia and the protest organizers. And so let us, I think we have the only thing we can do is to give the protester a pat on the back. They were very mature yesterday. But this is the issue. This is the main issue. Some of the takeaways from the protest yesterday were very much positive. I saw, for example, a gentleman who inscripted on at the back of his 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 coat or shirt that he was wearing yesterday, where he said, "If I died in the struggle, tell Mama I did my best." Oh, that really touched me yesterday. So he came to the protest. He went to the protest with a mindset that there was a possibility that he may not return home alive. So he inscripted that, I mean, on his back, that whenever he was left in uh, the struggle, whenever if he did not go back yesterday, people should tell his mother that he did his best. And so uh, that gentleman was very passionate yesterday about the wordings behind his shirt. But there are a lot of people who argue. Okay, there are a lot of people who argue about the success of the protest. Some said, "Oh, the protest was not as successful as the June 7th protest of 2019." But what I can say is that protest yesterday was even more successful than the June 7th protest, because the June 7th protest happened with a planning with the planning uh, for more than 8 months by members of civil society, members of political parties, for example, the ALP of Benana Ure, the Unity Party. I mean, Joseph Boakai, who's the president now of Liberia, was at that protest. He drove to that protest. He made some speeches. Alexander Cummings himself was on that protest ground. And so that protest saw a little over 4,000 people attending on June 7th. Yes. But yesterday's protest, there was no political leader present, there was no celebrity, there was, I mean, there were not, too many civil society groupings that were in that protest. That protest was organized by Liberians themselves. It was implemented by Liberians themselves who left their communities, who left their homes, and descended on Capitol Hill to express their disenchantment. Okay, and more to that, uh, there was a heavy downpour of rain almost the whole day, right? There were a lot of people who may have planned to go to the protest that did not go. But despite that, okay, those who went defied the rain, they defied nature, and they went to the protest. And the attendance at the protest yesterday was very, very much uncompromising. The people turned out, the people came out, the people that sent out loud and clear the messages, the messages of concern, the messages of disagreement with the government in its policies. And so there were different international press groupings yesterday, like Routers. We saw Al Jazeera. We saw West Africa Democracy Radio, and the rest of the international wires were there yesterday, and they picked up the protest, the interviewed protest leaders, and they took the story I mean, as headlines of their various media institutions. And so the protest was highlighted. A lot of people in the rest of the world are talking about the protest that happened yesterday. So, but the peaceful nature of the protest was what surprised a lot of people. Though it did not surprise me because I know the organizers of the protest are very, decent people with character. Mr. Molu has been in this protest business for a very long time. He has been in civil society for a very long time, even prior to ascending to the chairmanship of the CDC before. Okay, now he's back in civil society, and he stood up yesterday for the Liberian people. Uh, we listened to different arguments that were postulated or that still continue, to be debated in street corners in Monrovia, right? About morality. Who has the moral to organize protest? Okay. Some are, you know, uh, criticizing the organizers of the protest that they do not have the moral rectitude to organize the protest. But who determines that? So the people in the government are burying their heads in the sand to think that the protest did not send a loud and clear message yesterday. But again, while they were in opposition, when the CDC was in power, uh, they organized the June 7 protest because all of the players in the organization of the June 7 protest were the same people who brought Joseph Boakai to the presidency. Okay, you talk about Henry Costa, you talk about uh, Martin Colley, Mo Ali, you talk about Amos Toe, you talk about Benuna Ure, you talk about Alexander Cummings, the rest of the people, ANC, ALP, the rest of the people and political parties were all founding, they were founding members of the Council of Patriots, like Senator DeLon, who was one of the vice chairs, the the former Bombay County Senator, Sando Johnson, who's now, and I think, Senate liaison officer, executive liaison officer to the Senate. Uh, I learned that that job is around between 1,000 to $1,200 job. uh, he was one of the vice chairpersons for the protest. And so those are people who brought the Unity Party rescue government to power. But today, they are disowning the June 7 protest. They are uh, they are detaching their signatures, their membership to the June 7 protest only because of yesterday's very successful protest. But history has a very kind way of reminding people. History has a very kind way of reminding people. Um, uh, uh, in 2019, when they organized the June 7 protest, the government, they said a lot of things about the government, a lot of negative things that were not true, a lot of issues were raised that were not true, a lot of issues were said about the government that was not true. For example, in 2018, around November of 2018, uh around November of 2018, it's in November or May of 2018, this protest, the first protest that was organized by the opposition was something they call Bring Back Our Money. Okay, where they lied on the government that the government stole $16 billion, because there was this report from certain circle of the Liberian media that $16 billion in public printed money got missing. So they came out, opposition came out and organized a protest. Amos Toy, who now sits at the LPRC as its managing director, was one of the chief proponents of that Bring Back Our Money protest. He was in the march. Martin Colley was there. Uh, Carlos Edison Tingban that time. He was, I think, he was chairman of SUB. How they called my own brother and friend Emmanuel Gonkwe was part of that protest, all intended to lie on the government about stealing some $16 billion, falsify $1 billion that were stolen by the Liberian government then. Even at that, the government of Liberia wrote the U.S. government seeking its assistance to investigate, to come out with a workable solution, and come up with the necessary information. And the U.S. government contracted a Crow, Associates. I mean, they came here and they did their fact finding, they did their investigation, and the Crow report was presented to the government. It was published that no $16 billion got missing in Liberia. But despite that, it was a stigma on the government for the rest of the George Weah administration. The issue of $16 billion. From there, they took on the issue of $25 million, the money which about 16 to $17 million was used to mop up. The rest of the money was placed back in the central bank. But then he said Samuel Twe, who was the Minister of Finance, has stolen the money, when in fact mop up is not a fiscal uh, operation. I mean, mop up is a monetary policy, it's a monetary operation, but they ascribed it to the Ministry of Finance, which is the head of Liberia's fiscal arm of the government. So the guys lied all over here, protested, organized multiple protests, and then they demeaned the image of the government, they dampened the image of the government, uh, to the extent that the government became so much unpopular in no time, despite the enormous work that was done by the George Weah administration in infrastructure, basically roads, bridges, education, electricity, uh, the economy itself, the bread and butter issue was being fixed, the macroeconomic the macroeconomy was being stabilized. And today I saw a post from Senator Amara Kone, right? Senator Kone uh, was like confessing that the macroeconomy of the country in 2023 was stable, but Senator Corner was one of those who went all out against the government, saying that the macroeconomic situation in the country was not good. Liberians were suffering. The country was dirty. Drugs were on the street. Our brothers and sisters were addicting drugs, and so the government was not doing more, and so on. And as a result of that, the unsuspecting Liberian people, the unsuspecting Liberian people followed the rescue mission, and they elected President Joseph Numa Boakai to the executive mansion. Barely 1 year, 8 months after his inauguration in 2024, things began to deteriorate in Liberia further. The bread and butter issue is non-existent. People are suffering now in the country. In fact, I am being told by a lot of people from different communities that even to eat in Liberia today, eating in Liberia is an achievement. I was laughing yesterday when somebody told me eating in Liberia nowadays is an achievement. You know, uh, right now a lot of people, a lot of families in the country only think about getting food to eat. They and their families, they're not thinking about any other thing. They're not thinking about education. They're not thinking about building houses. They only think about God providing for them and their families to eat. And so, if we have a country like that, it is very, very much deteriorating because it means poverty is descending into the nation. Poverty, a lot of people, a lot of families have descended into poverty. Okay, prior to 2023 and 2023, Liberians, according to World Bank report, were living on about $2.50 to $3 a day. Okay, that is now about $600. But now, the World Bank report is that Liberians are living on even less than $1 a day now, meaning there are more Liberians who have descended into poverty since President Joseph Boakai took power. There's no capital project going on, no road is being done by the government, except some of those infrastructural projects that were started and paid for, contracts signed by the previous government, which this government is supervising to end. So the people who were in the street yesterday were there for different reasons. Police brutality, secret killings, extrajudicial killing. We saw in 2024 when Liberians in Grand Cape County had gone to express their uh, their disagreement, their disenchantment, their disapproval of the company's operations, that is BM Martin Mining Company. Uh, the government of Liberia dispatched through the Liberian National Police armed police officers who went to that county and gunned down innocent men who had gone to protest for their rights, labor rights. Their rights were being infringed upon. They had gone to protest to claim government's attention, and the same government sent police and killed them. The police killed about 3 people. At the end of the day, they had to go back there and dish out 5,000 US dollars to each family. Very, very much disgraceful. You kill somebody, then you go give that family 5,000. I mean, just like 5,000 will bring the lives of those that were killed back. No, the government investigated itself and declared itself from that incident. They said, in fact, as a matter of fact, the other guy who was shot, uh, when the police went there, when the when the police were shooting the guy, turned around, started escaping the police, and he was shot from the back. The guy was shot from the back. Even according to the rule of war, according to the rule of engagement, the rules of engagement, whenever an enemy surrender, whenever an enemy surrender, push up his hands, right? The rules of engagement say you should not shoot him. The rule of war say you must take him as a prisoner. Okay, you should not harm him. But the the brother, even having turned back, running away from the police, when he turned his back, the police shot him from the back and killed him instantly in Grand Cape County. That was in 2024. That was an enormous reason yesterday for people to protest. In Cardwell, the power theft team from the from the LEC had gone to check on a community in the New Georgia area. A guy was shot by the police on account that he was stealing current. He was shot and killed on the spot. That was an enough reason for people to protest yesterday. In in rehab, the police killed a 15-year-old boy last year. That was an enough thing to protest. In Banjo, police police officers killed 2 Liberians uh, in months of succession in Banjo. Okay, uh, it was a reason to protest yesterday. Um, if you look at the stealing in the government, the stealing is on an alarming scale. The legislature has become so corrupted, co-opted with the executive to steal the Liberian people's money on industrial scale. The executive branch of government organize a what we call confusion in the legislature, especially at the House of Representatives. While the confusion was ongoing, the legislature was pillaging, they were looting the state's resources. So a report that came up say in during the period of that legislative confusion, the House of Representatives, the entire legislature siphoned over $108 million. $108 million, a staggering $108 million when hospitals in the country cannot have drugs. Yesterday, a pregnant woman who had gone to the Redemption Hospital in Nikru Town to seek medical attention was denied admission into the hospital, and she gave birth right at the front gate of the hospital. At the front gate of the hospital yesterday in Nikru Town, that lady gave birth. It was very shameful, very, very shameful yesterday in the borough of Nikru Town. Uh, 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 Her friends had to come and create a shield, a wall, so that people could not see that. That horrifying situation involving that pregnant woman who gave birth right at the first step at the front of the hospital because she was denied medical bed. She was told, the family was told there was no bed to admit her in order to deliver her safely. So she gave birth right at the front of the hospital yesterday on July 17th while that protest was ongoing. It was a shameful situation. If you go to the JFK, people are lying helpless in the corridors of the hospital, no bed, dialysis machines have given up very much mismanaged. Those machines were brought into the country by the last administration, but the Joe Buckeye administration has, downplayed the health condition of the Liberian people. So if you go to the JFK now, it has now become a death trap again, like during the administration of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf's first Unity Party government. So what are we up to in the country? Uh, the Liberian people, I mean, the country is on autopilot. The country is leading itself. President Bwaka is not in charge. You have a lot of petty criminals, hardcore criminals in the government who are running the government behind the president. The president just sits there doing nothing, traveling in private jets, from here, there, going on foreign trips, spending millions and millions of taxpayers' monies and bringing nothing back to the country. He went to the United States recently. Again, he brought nothing back. While his colleagues, his comrades from Senegal, uh, Guinea-Bissau, Gabon, Mauritania, while the guys were returning to their various countries with uh, hundreds of millions of dollars, the president came back home with his hands swinging. With a He came back only with what we call an English grammar proficiency certificate from President Trump. When Trump played fun of him and the Liberian people, that, oh, Mr. Barker, you speak good English. Probably because Baka told him that my country has a lot of minerals, uh, which he could not even enumerate. While the Gabonese president was telling Donald Trump about diamond, about gold, about timber, everything that he wanted his population to get job. He wanted value to be added to their resources so that they can create job for the young people. Mr. Buakai went there, sat there, spoke for less than 3 minutes, and spoke uh, in terms that was not clear, in terms that were not, that was not forceful. And so at the end of the day, the US president even got confused about what our president had gone to deliver. So at the end of the day, we did not get anything. We did not even get anything from this on the sidelines of the US Africa summit. He said, oh, 5 presidents were invited by the president of the United States, President Bwaka included. So, but he went there, his friends brought something back home, and he did not bring anything. He went to Korea, he went to Indonesia, he went to China without bringing anything. The president had traveled more than 17 times since becoming president of this country about 19 months ago. Okay, but he has not brought anything back to the country. The economy continued to dwindle. The the Liberian dollar, equivalent to the US dollar, continued to skyrocket. The exchange rate, um, corruption in the government. Everywhere is corrupt. President Bwaka is suspending people every day for corruption without prosecuting them. They steal the Liberian people's money. He suspends them without prosecuting them, and they carry the money. Another people come, get appointed, and continue to steal the Liberian people's resources. So this is the kind of government that the president is running. Somebody say, "Oh, the president is doing well." When people are accused of corruption, he suspends them. Suspension is not the only thing. When you suspend people on allegation of corruption, what you do, you prosecute them. You prosecute them. Prosecution prosecution is to take people to court. When you take them to court, okay, when justice is served, meaning when the case is adjudicated, They are either convicted or acquitted. Acquittal itself is justice. We know that one very well in the criminal justice system. Acquittal is justice. Conviction is justice. But the president, the government has not even mimicked, they have not even pretended to prosecute any of any of their own. Okay, excuse me, any of their own. What they have done is they have been suppressing, intimidating opposition voices. Okay, since they came, yes, it is good to prosecute corruption cases from the last administration. Oh yes, that is good. We commend that, but at the same time, it should not be used as a witch hunt. The witch hunt part is when you come and you have people from your government who are equally accused of corruption, but you do not prosecute them, but you decide to go for, to prosecute only people you met, who were in power before you. Okay, but then when you go in to prosecute them, you say they are corrupt, but your people are not corrupt. The president's own nephew, okay, the guy from the LTA, Mr. Abdullah Kamara, when the president came and suspended all of the commissioners at the Liberia Telecommunications Authority against the ruling of the Supreme Court that those people had tenure. Even after the president suspended them, what did he do? He brought back Abdullah Kamara and appointed him as head of the LTA. That was even on the back of a damaging audit report on Mr. Kamara for corruption. Mr. Bwaka said, no, he is my nephew, and so I will make him head of the LTA. And he made Abdullah Kamara head of the LTA. Mr. Bwakai suspended the governor of the central bank, Mr. Eloshus Talu, against the Supreme Court ruling, right? Okay, that Talu was there for a tenure. Mr. Bwaka, even after suspending Talu went back to the Supreme Court, and while the case was in court to be adjudicated, Mr. Bwaka paid Talu off after a GAC audit indicted him for alleged corruption, right? So, how can you say somebody is corrupt and they in court, but then you pay them off? What sense does that one make? But Mr. Bwaka only did that because he wanted to bring his nephew as governor of the central bank, Mr. Samoa, Henry Samoa, who used to be at the LBDI. He brought Samoa, his nephew, and made Samoa governor of the central bank. Those are all of the chronology of issues that that culminated into the protest yesterday. Then somebody would say people do not have the moral ground to organize protest. Uh, uh, Meanwhile, those same people who are talking about moral authority were the same people who organized multiple protests when they were in opposition against the CDC government. Okay? And so the moral question that they are bringing about is vague, is null, is void. We cannot take it into any consideration because they do not have the right to question anybody about moral authority to organize a protest. Okay, so if you are there in Radio Land, you are listening to the CDC Hour on Kings FM 88.5. And if you are on the live feed, watching Kings and Cloud TV uh, on Kings FM Facebook page, we are here and we will continue to be here to take your call very shortly. Very shortly, we will be taking your call, so you can begin to call on 0772 2399 9933 0772 30 44 97 0 only for female 0 only for female. The male line is 0772
Hello?
Hello, let's take our first caller. Hello.
Yeah, Ishaka, how you doing, Chief?
I'm doing good, brother.
Yeah, this is Emmanuel Smith, and I'm phoning from District
Emmanuel
6.
Smith, you call on this radio every day to insult people. So
I'm on insult who? I'm on Liberia. I have the right to call your
we
show,
will
my
not
man.
take that from you. This is a CDC show. Cut that man off.
Oh, so I have.
You don't have any right to call on this show to denigrate anybody. This is a CDC show. Go to your political party show and do that. If we have another caller, hello, hello,
Hello.
yeah, hello.
Yeah, Ishaka, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
I'm Oscar. That is doing calling from Gumpa 7.
Hey, Mr. Dubai, how you doing?
Well, Ishaka, you said all. You know, we the physicians don't have to sit down. That's as I always say. They say every day that campaign day. But Ishaka, we the physicians in Niba country, we are feeling damn upset. Reason is the people, most of the physicians are here saying that CDC, we are not on our feet. And every day that campaign day. As you can see yesterday, more than 10% left our party and joined Unity Party. So I want to recommend to the CDC, to we the CDC people, especially the leadership, people who they can talk, listen to we don't have to wait to until dance, we need a chance so we are trying to Lima and see how best we can organize ourselves. The Unity Party want for the CDC to be embedded in Lima County. So it's time for us to come and see how best we can restructure our leadership and put Makani in the place so we cannot be embedded into Lima County. And secondly again, I've always said that you people should be able to go to the breast visit camps or research within the county and relate to the community and relate the program so our Lima County people can listen to it. Moreover, example library. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We take your advice strongly into consideration. Let's take another call. Hello.
Oh, good evening.
Yes, good evening.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Let's hear you.
This is Jackson Kubo calling from Central Street.
Yes, Jackson, let's hear you.
Oh, I want to extend my thanks and appreciation to Chairman Moru and those other guys like Ivan Wizard and who stood the ground yesterday to make this protest a success. Because all would say that it was going to be like the speaker protest where police intentionally shoot at one of the protesters, which up to now his food is not yet better. And no attentions have been given to him. But how would you say, brother, that Joseph Boga went and then made how you call him, Donald Trump, and then Joseph Boga didn't bring anything? Joseph Boga brought something tangible for the country. You saw an envelope, follow Joseph Boga, which that envelope has too many, which it has too many or empty white sheets in it for like people to read. Then we say Joseph Boga spoke well. Right?
Yeah. So that what he brought English certificate. So that's what the Liberian people are eating right now.
Oh
yeah. But thank you for the call. Let's take another caller there. Hello.
Ishaga.
Yes, hello.
Mama, you take CDC the useless.
Okay, cut that man off. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah,
Ishaka?
hello. Yeah, hello.
How you doing? Hello?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, this is Dr. Marcis Yonila.
Yes,
You getting me?
Yeah?
Yeah, I said this is Dr. Marcis is gay Lele Yake.
Oh, Lele Yake.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's hear you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for the show. No, see, I want you to call that man of I want to deal with that man on the show. I want you to hey, stop being stupidness on the show. So what go behind him? Don't call him up and say he's crazy. You want me to 40 people? You can't want me to 40 people? So when you call them, they want to say you rude man. Then you can't stupid they can't insult you. Then we'll go for him. I want to go rude for see. Oh, boy, rude boy, you gotta calm down. Oh, when you say my son, it's that Sharida, that the red thing you say, hey, happy. And we see it, we feel it, we touch it. We saw it. Because we are going to play, and when we play football, you brought that devil today, you want to be winning it, you get breaking English today, you go hospital from them, we see it. Oh, when around the world, you put him like prayer, you people that we are infant. Speaking English, right? But the one speaking the good English, when they want to say, yes, all is wrong. When they brought to the country, we stay home place. When you tell the people you're not doing it, and you qualify, you're not doing it. They work as well, somebody say there's people, like your mother, now you got your stupid, like your pa, your ma stupid. Thank you.
Little Yake. Let's take another caller. Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, hello?
My name is Mama Masale calling you from Kwela.
Yes, let's hear you, brother.
Let me just comment Chairman Molu
Okay.
and also Astaragbe and all the Labrador attended yesterday. Again, I think appreciation. You know, Joseph Baga traveling are just free. A man travel in Camila envelope in Canway, and the envelope in Kinway a bunch of shit Netato girl and get to in a same bring for to come be reading it. You see. Only good thing I think do not do for him. All the thing a good as in another yes sir. Yes sir. From Fuya, yes sir. What part of Fuya you go to school or what part of Labrador you go to school? Yes sir.
Yes, sir.
Everything yes sir.
Yes,
You see
sir.
asking a disgrace in bring to in the country.
Don't kill me, yeah. So thank you for the call.
Hello?
Yeah, hello?
Yeah, how are you, Ishaka?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Yeah, anyway, I'm Mohammed Sombai and I call you from the Gambia.
Hey, Mr. Sombai, how you doing?
I'm fine, sir. Fine, sir. I just want to extend my gratitude to the protester yesterday and the organizer for the protest. No, Ishaka it was laughable when yesterday the people was protesting and I saw our president to the ministerial complex getting speech and one of the protesters, which is I strongly believe that they from Unity Party, they put it on their placard that Baka can la.
Yeah, Baka
So
can
I
lie. I
think
saw
one of
that.
his yeah, I
I
think
saw
one
that.
of his minister gave him the message while he was reading or while he was talking to the people. Then he start making fun, mockery out of the people say, I just hear the protesters say Baka can la. You know, laughing. While the people they are under the ring trying to tell him what he's doing is wrong and she's making mockery out of the people. But you know, everything have time.
Oh,
One thing
yes.
I know, everything have time. One thing I know, we the Liberian, majority of us, whenever power is in our hand, we can be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
We can be very, very, very crazy. We can be crazy and we can be very, very disgruntled and we feel that we have no limit. We can even take ourselves to be God. But no one can be the God, my brother. Under God, under power can never be seized. But we know people that they was greater than Joseph Parker then, and they leave power. We know people then that they still on in power and they still leave power. So one fine day, he laughing. One fine day, it will turn to tears, and he will regret. So thank you so much, my brother. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sombai.
Ishaga,
Yeah, let's hear you. Hello?
stupid party, stupid people.
This guy, you know that, dude. You
Hello,
you
Isha.
know that guy number? Yeah, hello.
Okay. Hello.
Yeah, my Benu, how you doing?
How about you, Papa?
Yeah, let's hear you, my Benu.
Yeah, I'm out there.
Yeah, let's hear you. My Benu, let's hear you. Let's hear you. Oh, I don't know what's happening to my Benu's phone. We have lost my Benu. Hello?
Yeah, Ishaga, how you doing?
I'm good.
Hello?
Yes?
Yeah. This is Ethnocar. Oh, man, forgot about that guy. Like I get you call on Israel show and he is Israel can rock it. But you're like me, you allow him let him continue to show ignorance. Because if you come to the national day school to be an intellectual, and you come out and real people know you. You know, you can be on or talk about it. Then you come, you constantly, you insulting, it's cool. We are useless, we agree. What did he tell us here? But they that are clever, they that are very smart, they come out to the United States of America, they refer to the spoke good English, and then you will say, we have HAS. That was the good English that Boaga spoke. When he came, what he brought. See what he did to all y'all, he said to himself yesterday, not to us. A major protest going on. Your citizen want to petition you of your misrule. And the only thing you took from there was the people then where the two people that you guys playing there. The one that said Bwagagala. Then the other one, oh, I was sending George to survive, and then another sending George. It's a complete mockery. You want to tell me the drugs that are in the country here? You can compare to the time that you guys were saying no more push. You know how many jobs that have come into this country under your government? What local country are being considered as one of the major center points for drugs? Then you pick it and go to provoke people talking about it. Is that serious, man, President? He sounds like somebody that has lost his own mind. That's how he say. Then we got to listen to somebody. He will not take our attention for the real issue is we gave you guys 14 days. After 14 days, you don't address our issue, there will be a specified action that you would not like to see. So call on the show and continue to call. It's only be causing, be waiting on the 14 days. You can't take our attention for the real issue is Waka have failed the Liberian people and he can't make a comeback until 2029. Thank you.
So much. Let's take another caller. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, hello. Ma Benu.
Yeah, I'm out there.
Yeah.
Can I say? Hello?
Yes, I'm getting you, Ma Benu. Go ahead.
Yeah, he said, I say the prayer of them pray and you continue praying and continue about our 2029 back in life. Because yesterday we see the sun yesterday. Because yesterday for people. Then this morning I hear from the available who said our president, but United Party president, he was talk show, he laughing, some protection and when they take like they say, Baka can laugh, if I say, Baka, they will not say it was not them. What the protection do that thing yesterday for people? But I tell Molu, thank you. And I commend my president from Nigeria. Oh man. I see my president yesterday. I feel happy. I feel big honorary. I say, oh, you can't see our president. How you looking at? Yeah, great our president yesterday. Oh my God, Lord,
thank you, Ma Benu. Thank you. Don't say all today. Wait for Monday. You say the banner one. Thank you. Let's take two more calls. Hello. Let's take two more calls. Hello.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. This is not AB. This is Isha.
I phone you from my village in Grand Bassa County. This is Timothy Kelly.
Yeah, Mr. Kelly. Yeah, Mr.
Kelly. You see, one thing that I want to speak to here, I want to speak to the issue of the police brutality in the country. You see, just to remind our youngest brother, Gregory Como, if
people who are going to the grave to ask Vanny Denson, what then police director before the coup 1980. He should ask, his children or ask him if he can get a chance to see Vanny Denson. There is a both they call power and people. In this country, even if the people want to apply violence, one man, one policeman cannot make 10 men. But it's just that the people want to remain peaceful. But they should realize and understand that this country belongs to everybody, not one particular group. But the people have to understand, you check for the two-week party days. Two-week party ran the country all that year. They think they were all too able. At the end of it, what happened? Nobody wish evil for anybody. Let us all give peace the chance. Then I come to the issue of President Bwaka. President Bwaka needs to understand and address the citizen as it is. Why is he call other people hooligans, but he get a bunch of hooligans behind him? You cannot be fighting people that are outside government while you in. As you used to say, you can't be in glass hole, you close soon. This country belongs to everybody, like blood belongs to everybody. But we look up to see the outcome of the computer, how well they will address situation from now to the time that was given to them. If not, there will be more people will be added to the second protest.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let's take the very last call. If there is any, then we call it a day. Hi.
Oh, good evening.
Yes, good evening. You are the very last caller. You got to be very, very snappy. We don't have time.
That's Cdc Papi calling.
Cdc Papi, how you doing?
Yeah. You all need the people that they do their own, but it lasts forever. Since my mother born me, I go all the way from Tokmata up to all the way to Joseph Boagata. That Joseph Boagata government has shown that people carry their body somewhere and they put it on the sidewalk and open the casket and do it and put the body back. I never see it before. And it never happened before. There are some people hear about that here. Even one of us, even though it never happened like that. So one leader, let them do what they want. One day will be one day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, CDC Papi. He was our last caller. The CDC Papi calling from Morris's farm in the Mount Barclay area. So every good thing must come to an end. Today is Friday, July 18, 2025. And on that note, we have come to the end of today's presentation of the CDC Hour. Until you see us back here, God's willing, will be on Monday when we shall be here to bring you a fresh edition of the CDC Hour. Until then, I'm your presenter, Ishiaka Sheriff. Goodbye. Mama